Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar, 7 Key Steps to Organizing a Successful Nonprofit Organization Event. My name is Matsir. I'm a Customer Success Manager with Yapla. I'm mostly working with new organizations joining our platform, making sure that they understand the best practices to use our tools, making sure that everything goes well through your setting steps and also your registration and different initiatives that you are organizing through us. Before we start, today we are using Livestorm for the presentation. So at the bottom right corner of your screen, you'll see 2 tabs, questions and chat. In the chat, I invite you to give more information in regards to who you are, say hello, tell us what organization you're representing today. In the questions tab, if you have any questions, feel free to write them down in that section. You'll be able to upvote other questions and make sure that I can address them as best as I can. If there's any technical issues with the presentation, either with my share screen or with my sound, please let me know. I'll try to address it as soon as possible. On today's agenda, we'll be going through useful tips and tools to manage your events efficiently. So the first part will be 7 key elements of a successful event. Then we'll go into a demonstration account so we can look a little bit more at the interfaces, see examples of events that have been set up in our account, and show you the different ways of using those tools. We'll also present different resources to get you started, and we'll end today's webinar with a Q&A period. So Yapla is the all-in-one payment and management platform for nonprofits. It helps you free yourself from administrative tasks, receive payments online 100% free, centralize and structure your data, and build an even more loyal community. The goal here is to make sure that through the different registration process that you are setting up with our tool, you're able to follow up with your participants, your members, everyone who gets in contact with you through our system, automatically or manually, but also to be able to use the data that you're collecting through the registration process to then better perform in your next events and any other initiatives you're trying to organize through Yapla. This allows you to create good connection with your community and make sure that they are engaged with you and are willing to either work with you or use your services as much as possible. Yapla has been working with nonprofits for the past 10 years. We started in Montreal, Canada, and expanded through the rest of Canada, but also in Europe. We've helped nonprofits collect close to $560 million through 8 million registrations for membership, events, donation, and other of the other registration processes that the system helps you set up. We're happy to have helped close to 60,000 nonprofit managers with Yapla, and it's always great to have a presentation like today where we can have interactions with our clients and the nonprofit that are using our platform. Yapla has everything you need all in one place, making it possible to facilitate your activity management and add value to your different services. Today we'll be focusing mostly on the events, as the title of the webinar was saying, but Yapla offers a lot of different tools, helping you centralize all of your registration process and the different contacts you want to have with your community. So we have the members, events, donations, and newsletters that are all available with the free plan. This allows you to collect information, sell memberships, seats to different events, collect donations, all for free. And the newsletter tools allow you to target your contact based on their interaction with the system. So with the free version of Yapla, you already have a system that allows you to centralize a good amount of your information, but also automate a lot of the administrative tasks that you would normally do by hand. When we are going with the paid plans, we add the accounting, website, data, and contact features. These bring a new level of complexity and possibilities for your organization in order to manage either registration process with validations or other more complex process that needs to verify some of the data and allows you to centralize all those registration steps within one system. If you're looking to better understand the core features of the platform, there's the 30 Minutes Discover Yapla webinar. It presents the core features and capabilities of the system. It presents a demonstration of the platform. So there's the presentation of the website feature, but also the core feature, member, event, donations, and the accounting systems to generate all the bills and accounting entries. It presents the different resources that are available for you, and it allows you to interact with the member of our team doing the presentation to answer your question. After the webinar, you will receive the presentation for today's webinar, and you'll be able to register through the different slides. So the first step for organizing an event and make sure that everything runs smoothly is to define your event objectives and the ideal outcomes. What we mean here is to make sure that we have clear priorities and objectives. And 3 good points to have in mind are defining your success indicators. So is it the amount of invitations that have been sent out? Is it how many participants are attending your event? Is it the amount of contacts that you manage to collect through that event? There are a lot of different reasons why an event can be successful and can potentially fail in clearing those objectives. And it's really important to make sure that we have a clear idea of what those objectives are so that all the initiatives that are part of that event are aligned with our goal from the beginning. It's always good also to anticipate the challenges of your event. So what if we are lacking registration? What if people are not showing up as much as we wanted? Why exactly we had difficulties finding staff? So these are all steps that we can take prior to the event, during the event, to make sure that we know exactly what are the pain points of events like the ones you are organizing, and making sure that we have plan B, plan C, and also other ways to get in contact with the people that could make sure that our objectives are being fulfilled. Also, creating a seamless experience for not only the participants, but also your team with the right organization and the right technology. That part is what Yapla is trying to help with, making sure that you have a system that collects all the information that is required for you to know exactly who's coming to your event, who will be participating, but also make sure that people are aware of the different steps to get to that event. So it's important to start on the right foot so that each stepping stone after that is clear and easy to reach. The second step is to create an online registration form with clear pricing. This is where Yapla really shines. Essentially, it helps you maximize sales with a well-designed ticketing and flexible payment options. So we want a clear message and rates and a simple registration form. The goal here is to make sure that once someone starts the registration process for your event, everything is as clear as possible in regards to what the next step is. So this goes first with whether or not your event is available for everyone or specifically for potentially your members. Our system allows you to create a login page in the registration process, making sure that if someone is a member and they're not connected to their membership space, they're able to connect and then access the membership reserve fares and rates. It's also important to make sure that the different options to register to your event are clear. We want to make sure that there's no questions when someone goes through that registration process, because then they might abandon the registration of the event, or they might get in contact with you and then create more manual labor, which is what Yapla is trying to prevent or at least mitigate. A diversified segmented pricing structure members only rates, early bird, VIP access and services. These allow you to make sure that you have different ways for people to register. And if there are specific categories in regards to your members or to, for example, events that are targeted for children, adults, but also older folks, it's possible to have specific rates and pricing with descriptions that make it clear where exactly am I supposed to register and how. The user experience here is really your top priority. So it's always a good idea to go through that registration process yourself before you launch your registration periods, just to make sure that everything runs smoothly. You want different people going through the registration process because any feedback will probably be a feedback that applies to some of your participants. So the goal here is to make sure that through your rates, through your registration form, it is easy to know what rate applies to the person registering, but it's also easy to fill out your registration form. The second one would be, the third one would be to invite your network and communicate effectively. The goal here is to really adapt your strategy to your reality and objectives. So again, we are looking at the step 1 and step 2 and make sure that communications that are sent out to your targeted audience is as clear as possible. When are registration starting? Is there any registration periods for early birds, regular registration costs, and also last minute ones? We want those communication to be before the event, but also after. Once someone participated to your event, you want a communication to be sent out to thank people for participating, make sure that they know exactly when are your next events. The goal here is to make sure that regardless of where people are in the registration process or in their participation to the event, they know exactly where they are, what the next step are, and what are the possibility of information you might want to communicate with them. It's always good to include call to action for registration. So before your event, it might be buttons that are referring to the registration period and early access for registration for specific pricing. There's a lot of ways that you can incite people to either visit your website, register to your event, share the event on their social media. It's good to have specific actions that are determined and make it desirable for your participant or prospects to interact with your organization. Also, it's always important to personalize your messages for the different participant profiles. So if you have specific rates for your members, you might want to target your communication specifically to your member and have a message that is customized specifically for them. If you have partnerships with organizations in the region, you might want to have a communication that is targeting specifically those contacts. It's not bad to have just one communication that is sent out to everyone, but it's not as personalized and people might not engage as much with that communication once they receive it. So the goal is to make sure that when people receive communications in regards to your events, they feel engaged, they feel reached out. They want to make sure that they interact with you because the communication has been sent out specifically for them. Communication is a great tool, and we want to make sure that it's as clear as possible because we don't necessarily want people to receive a message and be confused about what exactly they're supposed to do. Same thing after your events. It's always good with, for example, VIPs, partners, and members to have communications that are specifically written for them, just to make sure that they feel valued through their participation to the event. Step 4 is to review the final details. So here we want to make sure that we have a checklist of everything that needs to be ready. So reminder communications to participants. This can be automated. Yapla allows you to create multiple reminders that can be sent out X amount of days before the event, but also after. We want to make sure that we have all the information required during the event for your list of participants. Yapla allows you to personalize your reporting to make sure that all the information that is valuable during the event. So for example, if you have dinners, if you have food that's being served, we want to make sure that your list of participants includes maybe allergies. If there are a specific organization that needs to be identified during the event, we want to make sure that the registration list includes the organization of each participant. So the goal here is to make sure that when we are collecting or exporting our list of participants, to make sure that we can follow up with people on the venue, we have all the information that will be required for manage and administrate your event. The last minute logistics, purchases, equipment, giveaways. So this is always great when we are looking to create a bit more engagement, have everything that is required for your activities. So plan ahead the maybe last minute things that needs to be purchased and the last details. And a team briefing, who does what, when, where. We organize a conference with the clients of YAPLA every year, and the organization of that event goes through different teams. Everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to do, where they're supposed to go, how to welcome people. It's important to have a clear plan ahead, so no one in your team is lost during the event and cannot really help people and participants the way they should. So it's always a good idea to have a list of responsibilities that we can dispatch through the team and make sure that everyone understands what they're supposed to do. It's always good also to have information in regards to the people that are coming in. So people who are welcoming your participants can actually interact with them in a more personalized way. Depending on the size of your organization, it might be easier because you know exactly who your members are, who your participants are. But when we are getting to more open public events with bigger size or bigger amounts of participants, it might be good to have that information on hand so people can actually know who they're interacting with and what they can talk about. Now we are talking about the event live. So welcome your participants. On the D-Day, it's always good to greet your participants warmly and efficiently. Like I've said, having the information in regards to your participants is always good because then it's easier to reach out to them. It's easier to have conversations or to send them to the right place if you are having, for example, different presentation workshops and things like that. Consult your list of participants, manage your admission by scanning tickets. YAPLA allows you to generate tickets when people are registering to your events. And with the YAPLA Companion app, you're able to scan those passes and make sure that you have all the information in regards to your participants, but also able to manage presence. This allows you to then maybe send out communication, documents, proving that they've participated to your events. There's a lot of different ways that we can use that app to make sure that throughout the event, we know exactly who comes in, what are their information, their payment status. All that information that is collected through the registration process can be accessed through the YAPLA Companion app and makes it a lot easier for you to interact with the different people that are coming in, but also let them know here are maybe things that you want to look into if you have, for example, different workshops presenting different themes. For teams, connect multiple devices to manage entry points. So the YAPLA Companion app doesn't use the license system that the administration side of the platform is using. So it's possible for all the members of your team to connect to the app and make sure that they're able to answer questions in regards to registration, let people know where to go, what activities are available for them. The goal here is really just to get access as much as possible to the information of your participants to make sure that you're sending them to the right places during the event, or you're able to manage the flow of participants throughout your different events. Now we have maintaining relationships after the event. So what we're looking to do here is to make sure that once people are participating to your event, they're not simply stopping there. We want to make sure that they know that they care, that we care about them being part of our community. We care about the fact that they showed up and showed interest. So we want to have thank you emails that are customizable and automatable. It's possible then to take information from the registration process and inject it within the communication, so people don't receive just a cold email saying, thank you for showing up, see you next year. We can actually use their first name, use the fare that they've selected. We can use some of the information that's been collected through the registration process to make sure that the communications that they receive actually feel like they were meant for them. Satisfaction surveys are a great tool. This can be done either through external tools, but the data functionality allows you to collect information submitted to a registration form. So this is just a great way to send people, again, to a tool from Yapla that will collect more information and will assign it to their contact file. This way, you know exactly who answered your satisfaction surveys, the answers they've given, the feedback they had in regards to their experience with the event. The goal here is to make sure that next year we do better, or maybe not next year, but for our next event, we do better. We address some of the concerns or some of the desires that people have in regards to what they get out of your events. And communication about upcoming milestones and events, this can be done in two different ways, either through the automated communication from your event or with the newsletter functionality. And this is great because you're able to automate some of the thank you notes, for example, that are sent out. But in regards to future events, you're able to target people who registered to past event and then send them newsletters to let them know, here are the next events for the upcoming months. Here are things that we think might be of interest for you. The goal here is to make sure that once the event is done, we don't stop there. We go the next step to make sure that people are engaged with you and are willing to come to your next event. The last step is to actually know how well we perform. So analyze the results of your event. Analysis and assessment, we want to learn from the past event to improve the future ones. So comparison of objectives and results. If our objective was to send out X amount of invitations, did this translate in a number of participants? Was the registration process not as clear as we thought? This is where feedback analysis is great with surveys and comments. During the event, you can have QR codes that are sending out to any sort of form, surveys, feedback submissions through the system in order to make sure that we have as much information in regards to satisfaction to adapt our future events. The goal here is not to repeat the same thing over and over, even though that's usually more simple, but we want to improve. We want to make sure that if the goal was to accumulate X amount of participants, well, for the next one, we can have more. If the goal was to cover costs and then have some leftovers to create new initiatives, we want to make sure that we're able to either reach out to more people to collect more registration or to adapt our pricing so that the next event is clearer in terms of registration, but also makes more sense for people who are participating. Team assessment is great because your team is there during the event. They see how people interact with each other. They see how they react to the presentations you're doing, the event itself. So it's great to know exactly how your team feels about how everything went down and to take that into consideration when we're organizing the next event. People who are working at the welcoming tables and things like that, usually if there's some issues in regards to welcoming people, it might create flow issues with your event. So we want to make sure that when people are coming in, they know exactly what to do, they know where to go, and your team knows exactly how to process that. So team assessment are extremely valuable. And action plan, essentially just with the information that you've collected, with the analysis that you've done, with those results and the alignment between your objectives and the results of your event, what is the next step? How can we improve? Are we continuing to organize that kind of event, or should we change it or simply terminate it? Sometimes we create initiatives, create events, because we think that is exactly what our community needs. And after an event like this, the community might feel otherwise. So it's really important to be open to criticism, but also to know when and how to react to those results. If people are happy with the information, with the event, the way it went, well, that's great, but there's always some things you can improve. So listen to your participants, listen to your team, make sure that you understand what worked, what didn't, and then adjust your future initiatives accordingly. The goal here is not to have something that is fixed in time. We want to evolve. We want to make sure that we improve everything that we do. And I think by collecting as many information from both your participants and your team, you're able to then adjust little things or big things to make sure that everything goes well the next time. Now I'll switch to my demonstration account. The goal here is to show a little bit how the interface is working, the kind of tools you are looking to use. So when you are opening your account, you have your dashboard, you have your logo, the name of your organization, your balance. This is all the accumulated funds for your memberships, your events, or donations, some quick actions, your last activities, and some news from our team. Today we'll be focusing mostly on events. And Yapla is great because it offers a free system. So if you are looking to start the transition to a digital solution and you are just looking to better understand how events are working, make sure to open a free account, make sure to look at how events are working. It is really quick to go through the initial event creation process. So we essentially just have an event name, start and end date. If it happens all in a day, we can definitely just go with the single day event. The social network description will show in the links that are created for Facebook, for example. The description will be displayed on your website and in the detail page of your event. Then we'll be able to fill out some more information in regards to our event. So the location, the address, is it an online event? Is it an in-person event? This is information that you can add. We can then have an organizer, a phone number, and an email. If you want people to reach out to someone specific in your organization, it is possible to add it here. We can then set up our different prices. So we can add, for example, a regular price for individuals. We can add a limit. So if your event is taking place into a specific room with a specific limit in regards to the amount of people who can attend, we could say, well, we have 50 places available. So once we get to that 50 registration, the registration process will be closed. We can then set it so that it's available for all, for members only, or for non-members only. This depends really on how your membership is working and how your events are working and who they're available to. We can add a description to your price, and then here we have the amount. The last step is the income account, and then based on your chart of accounts, there's most likely an account that will be assigned specifically for your event. So it's really important to make sure that you're assigning the right information. Here I'll assign it to the cocktail events, but based on your account charts, there will be an income account that will be assigned here. The other functionalities are available for higher tier plans. So continuous training, subscription forms will, I invite you to go to our support help center to get more information in regards to this. Yapla allows also to manage taxes based on your organization's address or on your customer. So for now, I'll add the taxes in Quebec and based on my organization. Here we have our rate, and then I could create early bird, I could create members only, registration, price. The next step will be your form. So here the goal is to make sure that we have all the information required to make sure that we understand who exactly will be coming to your event. By default, the system will include the native fields. So we have first name, last name, email, address of the person, phone number, things like that. It's really important to first use those existing fields because they are connected to the rest of the system, but you can then create new fields. So like I've said, if there's food being served at your event, it might be a good thing to know exactly what are the allergies of the people who will be participating to your evening. So allergies here, we can say it is required. And then we can say, no, allergies, nuts, peanuts, others. And then we can simply create a new section, additional information, and add this here. So the goal here is to make sure that you're collecting the valuable information. We don't want a registration form that is too long because then it is really hard to make sense of that information. But we don't want something that is too simple because then we don't have enough information to understand who will be there. So like I've said, the goal is to make sure that we go through the registration process ourselves and we test it as much as possible to make sure that it makes sense, it flows naturally, and it's easy to fill out. The next step is just some personalization in regards to the page that will be generated by our system for the registration. And then we're pretty much done. So here is a page that's been generated automatically by our platform. This is available with the free plan, so you don't need to do anything else. As soon as you've went through that initial process, you can already receive registration for your event. People will be able to click on register, get access to your different price lists, click here to provide all the information you need, and then go to the payment and the confirmation step. So even with the free version of Yapla, you get a really powerful tool to collect payments, collect information, send out automated communications afterward to make sure people know what's coming after the event. It is a great tool that makes it a lot easier to manage your events. Obviously, with our system, there are a lot of other options that are available, but these would normally connect with the website. So here, our tools allows you to create a website from start to finish. We have our menu here with different menu items. We have different levels. And for events, there's a lot of different ways to present your events. So here, for example, we have a mosaic presenting all the active events that your organization is displaying. We have different types of events, different types of registration process. For example, if we go for mobilize your community remotely, here we make sure that if someone is actually a member, they can register or they can log into their account and benefit from the registration process for members. If not, we can simply sign up without becoming a member. And then we have the price list for non-members here, $25. If I was to connect to my membership account, it would be possible for me to see the members fare and then have potentially a price that's cheaper or a registration period that starts earlier. So these are all ways to make sure that there's actually incentives for people to become member if they're not. And they can benefit from a lot of automations between the different functionalities of the system. So the registration process is easier because we take information from their members file. These are all ways that Yapla centralizes your data and makes it easier for you as an organization to collect information and use that information, but also for your community to have an easier time going through the registration process, but also getting all the information they need. Then, if you are looking to put forward a specific event, it is possible to have a page that displays just one event. So here we get straight to the detail page where we get the title, the date, the time. We can add it to our calendar. We have the location, our contact, and then we have the description. So this here is really if you're looking to put forward one big event. It might be your annual conference. It might be a specific charity event that you're organizing and you want to put forward. Here we have it in the menu on the second level, but it would be possible to have a main menu item presenting that specific event. It could be in the header. So the goal here is to make sure that if you have one event you want to put forward, there's different ways to access that page, and it's easy for people to know that this is the event they should be looking into. We also have activities. So here we have recurring activities. The distinction between events and activities. Events is a one-time thing. People are registering to that event, and if it comes back, it might be in a year, but we're not necessarily looking to create that sort of recurring pattern. Whereas activities, here we have the CommuSO's monthly workshops, we have the networking happy hour, and we can see all the instances of that specific workshop or happy hour. So here we have the May, June, here we have workshops for job search, for grant writing with specific dates. You can display the available places, and then people can register to one specific activity for that type of event. So it's a great way to make it easy for people to understand that the event is not something that happens once, but that happens over time, multiple times. For setting up your events, usually we follow 3 steps. Well, 4, if we take into account creating the event itself. So here we have our event. We have the registration here that will be displayed after people register to the event. But the 3 steps will be first, setting up your prices like we've seen during our tips. The goal here is to make sure that it's as clear as possible who gets to register and when. We have our different price list. We have the different availabilities. Is it for members only? Is it for non-members? Is it for both? So the goal here is to make sure that we have a clear registration period. It's always a good thing to have multiple registration periods like early bird, regular pricing, last minute. This allows people to feel a sense of urgency to register and not wait last minute. It's also possible to categorize your pricing. So if we have pricing for individuals, for organizations, and within those categories we have multiple fares that are available, it might be a good thing to categorize them so that people don't see a list of 20 different rates. They see 3 categories, and then they see maybe 5 or 6 of them. It makes it easier for people to flow through that registration process. Then we can add a description, our pricing. If it's a charity event, part of the registration costs might go straight to a donation campaign in order to generate a fiscal receipt or a donation receipt. This is where you would be able to do it, so you can automatically generate a donation. And then you can also add options. So here, for example, we have an option pricing, gala evening. This is something on top of the registration costs. And depending on your plan with Yapla, it's possible to also have selection rules. So it would be possible, for example, to say require the selection of at least one option or only one option. So in an event where you are serving food and you are looking to know exactly what meal they're looking to eat, you could have additional options. So vegetarian meal, chicken, beef, no meal, and then force people to select only one option to make sure that you know exactly who wants to eat what. You can also add coupon prices, essentially making it possible for either specific people to get reductions in regards to their pricing, or to have something that is available for people who can't really afford the full price of your event. And then again, the accounting, so making sure that you are adding the right account to your fair so that the system can generate the accounting aspect of your event. The second step is your forms. So here we are looking to make sure that people are providing the information required for you to understand who's coming to your event. So I've presented it a little earlier. We'll first use the native fields, first name, last name, email, title, things like that. And then we can create other information that will be collected through the registration process. The last step are your communications. And the reason why I present those 3 steps in that order is because your different pricing will influence the different forms that you will create. It is possible that, for example, student pricing, you might want to have a proof of school ID. So the form for registering to that specific pricing will not be the same as the regular pricing. And then the pricing, the forms will influence your communication, because you can personalize your communication based on the information that's been collected through the registration form, but also with the different pricing that are suggested to your participants. So if we are looking, for example, at the validated registration confirmation for the responsible, we can give an internal username that usually needs to be as clear as possible, because you want to know exactly what your communication is doing. Then we can specify who will receive this communication. Are we sending it only to the person registering? Are we sending a copy to our administrators? Are we sending an email or a copy to the event promoter? This year, we want to make sure that we are not sending out emails for no reasons. If your administrators do not need to receive a confirmation or a reminder, you might want to remove this, because otherwise you might receive a lot of emails that are not useful for you. Then, like any other email, you have your subject line, and then here you have the content of your email. And when we see responsible first name, event name, company name, these are keywords. And coming back to what I've said earlier, the 3 steps are in that order because keywords can include information in regards to your event. So the event name, event time, the location. It can have information in regards to the person registering, so their last name, first name, their allergies, the pricing that they've selected through the registration process, and also information in regards to the billing information. So here we have, for example, the bill number. So these are all different ways to make sure that the information that is collected through the registration process is actually used and makes it possible for people to really understand what they signed up for. What is the next step? Some key elements or some key information required for communications. And depending on your communication type, you will be able to attach bill and other documents like the tickets. So I usually suggest to go through all the communication types that are available for your event. Think about the registration process itself. Is it a free event or is it a paid event? Are we allowing people to pay online, or are we also allowing them to pay by check, credit, cash, and e-transfer? These are different steps that will influence the communication that you will need to set up for your event. And by going through that review, you'll make sure that every step of the way, people know exactly what to expect and what the next step is. So really important, like I've said earlier, to make sure that we think about that communication process and that communication planning. Then the other features are a bit more advanced. I don't think it's the time or place to really address those, but the system will allow you to create not only events for one time or one day events, you'll be able to use our conference system to organize events on multiple days with different kind of access to a scheduling of workshops. You have the activities like I've showed earlier, where you have one event with multiple occurrences. Yapla gives you a lot of flexibility in regards to the registration process, but also in regards to the way that you are doing things and informing people of where they are in that process and what the next step is. So it's always good to have a look at this. And in regards to the registration, like I've said earlier, before your event, you might want to export your registration list to have the information at hand when you are welcoming people. Here we have the registration list with some information. It might not be important for you to have the group number or the bill organization or the donation amount. So here you're able to remove those specific information and change it by other information that might be more valuable for you to go through your planning. The reason why we are modifying that interface is so when we are exporting your data, you can export only the columns displayed on the screen, making it possible for you to have an Excel sheet that only includes the valuable information and puts aside the information that might be a bit too much if you are exporting all the data of your event. Same thing goes with the advanced search. Any of the information that is collected through the event can be used for searching a segment of your organization. So for example, here, I'm not necessarily looking to see the participant to the workshops. I'd rather have the possibility to search based on the donation amount. The system will change that interface and allow me to do a search based on that. So again, it's a great tool to make sure that you can export specific segments of your participant list and potentially just find quicker and easier the people that are looking to have some information from you. The last thing I'll be showing is in regards to the website. So the good thing about Yapla is that there's no need for coding experience or understanding HTML or CSS. Essentially, you will create your page. The page comes with a specific template, and all you have to do is click on the zone you want to display your registration process, show that you are using the events feature, and then you can use one of the different modules that our system has pre-programmed. This will essentially take the information that you've set up in your events and display the registration process based on the different display modes, the different information that you want to display. So you absolutely need no experience with coding. Our system is made easy for anyone to use. So going back to our presentation, Yapla supports all types of events. The first one we usually think about are simple one-off events. End of the year shows, sport tournament, cultural activity, concert, exhibits. The features that will normally be used for that are online registration and payment. So like I presented, that one page or the website feature with the integrated payment options for the registration, multiple rates, limited number of space available, optional extras, on-site meal, souvenir t-shirt, road trip transport, multiple registrations in the same basket, so the possibility of registering multiple people, and ticket scanning at the entrance. We're talking about one-off events, things that might happen again in the future, but not recurring in a closed time frame. Then we can have charity and solidarity events. So solidarity walk or run, charity dinner, cocktail reception, auction, volunteer work. Here we're looking mostly at free registration or free contribution. So the possibility of registering, but making a donation at the same time. The possibility of generating tax receipts and donation receipts. The possibility of tracking donation for that specific event based on the donation campaign that's associated to it. So here we can know exactly how much has been collected for that specific event. Are we reaching our objectives? It's a great way to show people how much you've collected and how close you are to fulfilling your objectives. You also have customizable forms, so you would be able to add a specific field for the thank you notes or message for the charity, things that people want to say about the charity you're running or about the initiatives that you're creating. You can also organize business events. So first aid training, seminar, award ceremony, continuing education day. Usually we'll be using registration by a supervisor. So the possibility of having someone from an organization registering people within their organization. Possibility also to send out invitation for registration. So restricted access to your events, either through an invitation code, a private link, or by blocking the registration step behind the member connection. There's also the possibility of adding paid options. So could be in regards to equipment rental, it could be in regards to catering, different things that are not maybe required to participate to the event, but could be useful or could improve the experience in a larger sense. There's also attendance tracking, automatic generation of participation certificates. So if you are offering some trainings and people need a certificate proving that they've attended your training and passed the prerequisite for that certificate, you're able after the event to send out participation certificates that take the information from the registration process and generate a personalized documentation. Recurring activities or activities with no fixed date. So this is what I showed earlier. We are looking here at the monthly workshops. So it makes it possible for people to register at events that are happening over time. So either register for multiple events or sessions with a single page listing, a form with multiple options in regards to what dates you are registering for, the activity modules. You can also customize pricing according to the participant's choice, so either in regards to what day or how many days they are registering to, and you can target communication based on that specific session. So it makes it a lot easier to collect information and allow people to register to multiple events at a time. You can also get statistics for each sub-event. So you have a registration list per session instead of one registration list for the whole activity. YAPA also offers tools to organize your congresses, conferences, and conventions. So multiple day events with different speakers, different workshops, presentation. It allows you to create full scheduling of events and different activities. You can also have stakeholder management. So people who are either giving those workshops or presenting events or presentation to the whole of the conference can be integrated to the scheduling. It gives you a lot of different options in regards to the registration, but also to a system that allows participants to connect to participant space and have their listing of events that they've selected. They're able to see exactly what their schedule is for them. So Here are different advantages of organizing your events with Yapla. It makes it easy for your participants to register with a simple, intuitive, and personalized booking space. It makes it easier for you to communicate professionally and automatically, either through the invitations, the confirmations, the reminders, or the thank you notes and newsletters that you can send out after the event. Helps you manage participants and check-ins with ease. With the mobile app, you're able to scan ticket, get access to your registration list, manage information, and make sure that everything you need is part of that system. You can anticipate the unexpected without stress, so easy to offer cancellation and refunds. You have a clear overview of sales with the event information that is gathered and processed, but also with the accounting. And it's possible to get access to our system for free. There's no subscription, there's no transaction fees, there's no commission. It is possible to use Yapla 100% free. So Yapla offers different resources in order to better understand our system. We have our help center. It's a great resource going through a lot of the different settings, features that are available for your organizations. You also have guides and best practices articles that are presenting different ways that you can use our system. We have different webinars that are available. So there's the 30-minute webinar to discover Yapla that I mentioned earlier, but there are also webinars like the one today where we address a specific theme or a specific subject. So make sure to go see our list of webinars. They are really useful, provide a lot of good insights in regards to the best practices for our system. We have a team of experts that is here to help you out. So if you have any questions, it is possible to reach out by email. It's also possible to book meetings with our support team in order to share screen. Sometimes an issue is a little easier to explain vocally than through an email. So feel free to reach out to our team. And there's a lot of content to inspire you. So there's case studies, there are interviews with organizations that we've worked with, talking about how Yapla improved their process internally, but also their contact with their community. So feel free to create a free account, look at the different features that are available with that specific plan. And if you are looking to have something that is more personalized, more complex, or just have tools that are a bit more global, you can always go with our Essential Plus and Premium plan that offers a lot more for our members. So we'll be going through the questions now. So in regards to registration for multiple people during events, it is possible for an administrators to register to a group fair. And then participants are able, through their membership space, to update that registration form. So either the administrator needs to collect that information prior to registering his team, or if they are a member of the organization, they're able to go to their connected space and update their registration process. So the initial registration process can be more simple. And then when people are consulting their registration file through their connected space, they have more information they can fill out. So there's a lot of different ways that we can integrate registration process for bigger groups. It really depends on your specific case. So if you have any questions, if you're looking to better understand how Yapla can adapt itself to your organization, make sure to reach out to our team and we'll be more than happy to meet you. There's a question in regards to the newsletters. So the great thing about using the newsletter tool with Yapla is that it integrates itself to the rest of the system. Any interaction that someone has with your account will leave a trace of that interaction in their contact file. So if someone becomes a member, participates in an event, makes a donation, submit a form through the data feature, Your newsletters will be able to target that person based on that interaction. So we could have a monthly newsletter for members. We could have biannual communication for donors. We could have trimestral newsletters to the participants of your previous events to make sure they know what events are coming up. This makes it a lot easier to update your mailing list because there's nothing to do. The system takes charge of those different targets and makes it easier for you to just specify who exactly needs to be reached out for that newsletter. And before the system sends out the newsletter, it will update all the mailing lists automatically based on the interaction that your contacts had with your system. It's also possible to manually assign specific tags or groups to your contacts. So if you're looking to have something that is more personalized and not so much based on how people are interacting with your account, it's definitely possible to do that as well. And like any other big or less big platform that is offering newsletter services, our system offers a really simple, clear interface where you can create really simple but yet beautiful newsletters that will put forward all the information you need. And also you get a lot of tools in regards to how well your newsletter performed, how many people opened it, how many links within your newsletter has been clicked, what is the behavior of the people opening and closing your newsletters. So this really sort of closes a loop of the centralization of your data. It makes it possible for you to not only collect information from the different registration process that is available with the system, but also makes it possible to go further with newsletters that are targeting the right people at the right time. So it is a really complete system. It allows you to really manage all the initiatives and activities that your organization is trying to promote. And there's a lot of different tools that makes it easier, not only for your team, but also for your community to engage itself with your mission. I don't seem to have any other question. Yeah, so we have a question in regards to the accounting system. I brushed over a little bit the accounting in regards to the presentation today, but essentially the system allows you to create an accounting chart that will take all information. Usually we will suggest to have at least an accounting item by different initiatives. So membership, donations, events. This allows you to better understand where your money is coming from and how well you perform in regards to costs versus revenues. For bigger organization with lots of types of events, it might be interesting to have a breakdown of your events into different accounting items. If we are going with the premium plan, there's a possibility to manage the accounting in a project system, meaning that you would be able to have multiple accounting items that are gathered under one project. So you have a good understanding of how well they performed. There's a lot that can be done through the accounting system, but essentially any transactions that goes through Yapla will generate accounting entries and accounting reporting. So again, the goal here is really to centralize all your activities, centralize all your data, and automate them as much as possible. And this will allow you not only to have your ledger, your reporting, but also generate your bills, your donation receipts, and attach them directly to communications that are sent out for confirmation. So it is really a complete system, and I'm sure regardless of the way you're using it, it will definitely answer your needs. If you have any questions following our webinar today, feel free to reach out to our team. It's possible to reach out. At hello@yapla.com. Thank you so much for being with us today, and hopefully we'll be talking soon and working on transitioning your organization to our system. Have a great day, everyone.